Vile feminists attack mom for asking one question, get put in their place with her response. When a conservative wife and mother asked women for advice with an issue, she was immediately attacked by vicious liberal feminists and publicly shamed. However, just when the vile man-haters thought they had the kind housewife backed into a corner, she quickly put the entitled she-thugs in their place with her perfect response. The left purports that they seek to empower women by demanding equality, freedom, and respect for allegedly oppressed females in Western society. Of course, their false claims are easily debunked when these hostile and emotionally unstable self-proclaimed feminists instantly resort to tearing down any woman who dares to challenge their hypocritical views. Unfortunately for them, there's none more threatening to their bigoted liberal agenda than an intelligent woman with conservative traditions. The Daily Telegraph reports that when a young Australian woman asked for advice on the Facebook group North Shore Moms, which boasts more than 26,000 members, she was surprised to see bitter feminists crawl out of the woodwork in full force. "I would love to hear what other moms make their hubbies for lunch and snacks throughout the workday," she posted on Tuesday. "We are getting over sandwiches." Maddie was immediately inundated with hateful misandrists who disparaged her question with a torrent of bigoted and closed-minded replies. Among other insults, Maddie was labeled a slave and 1950s housewife while her husband was judgmentally criticized for accepting her loving kindness. "My husband can make his own damn lunch. I make my husband the same thing he makes me. Nothing. Stuff that, hubby is a grown man. I already do his laundry and keep his children alive. Our advice is to stop making his lunches. He's lucky if I decide to make dinner some nights. I was married for 20 years and my favorite packed lunch for my husband was called a get it yourself with a side order of I'm not your mother." Having caught the vomit-inducing whiff of a liberal feminist attack, Polly Dunning, daughter of infamous liberal feminist Jane Caro and mother to a young boy whom she admitted she felt sick about bringing into the world, took charge of the social media lynch mob. "You should pack him nothing for lunch. And you didn't really ask for advice. You asked what other moms pack their hubbies," which, to me, is slightly weird phrasing, but whatever. Dunning and her pack of venomous social justice warriors likely expected Maddie to retreat from Facebook or possibly even join their ranks of self-devouring wenches hell-bent on punishing independent thought. Unfortunately for them, Maddie wasted no time in pointing out their hypocrisy and embarrassing public display of bitterness. "I'm actually so devastated about some of these comments," wrote Maddie. She and her husband are saving up to buy their first home and, he works in an extremely physically demanding job, he does housework, he cooks dinner every second night. He gets up in the middle of the night with our bub. He is a champion. The least I can do is make him a bloody sandwich. I love my man, he deserves to eat lunch and we can't afford to eat out." Realizing just how petulant she looks at chiding a woman for simply packing a lunch for her exhausted husband, Dunning shamelessly tried to change the subject. In an attempt to save face, she backtracked her initial criticism, instead claiming that she only found it odd that Maddie categorized sandwich making as the role of mom, according to The Sun. "We are not, any of us, just moms," Dunning wrote. "Mom is one of the many roles we have as women and a role that certainly does not include doing anything for our partners because we're not his, or her, mother. Just struck me as weird to put making a husband's lunch with the role of mom." Still, Dunning failed to pretend that her issue was with the question being in the category of motherly duties, as petty as even that is. Her outrage had nothing to do with whether or not the topic belonged in such a group but that a woman would love her husband and want to serve him as an act of appreciation. It's easy to see Dunning's hateful and self-serving view of marriage in her initial response of "you should pack him nothing for lunch." Fortunately, Dunning and her nasty followers weren't allowed to impose their egocentric mindset for long. Replies both supporting Maddie's appreciation for her husband and admonishing her condemnatory haters rolled in before a moderator was finally forced to deactivate comments. "Wow, so much hostility here. Surely nice actions like these get reciprocated in happy marriages. Good on you. My husband is a builder, and his job is so physical, and he is so hands-on at home. It's the least I can do." All I can say is some women really must resent their husbands by their responses. Looking after your partner is the way to a happy marriage. I'm so confused by the negativity on this post. I love making my hubby lunch. He does so much for us as a family, and for my girls I see nothing wrong with wanting to look after your husband. Marriage is a partnership. If only more think like that, there will be a lot less divorces in this world. He does so much for me and the kids. Making 2 sandwiches a day doesn't put us in the dark ages. Liberal feminism has abandoned true feminism, which sought only equality and civil rights. Instead, the left has mutated feminism into a movement that hopes to not only emasculate and oppress men but any woman who holds an opposing view. Luckily, most women detest this movement and are beginning to rise up against it and defend having a traditional view. Please share the story and tell us what you think by clicking one of the buttons below. We want to hear your voice.